and graduates. First of all, congratulations. 10 years ago, I stood on this same stage and I spoke to my graduating class. I delivered the commencement address in poem form. I see everybody getting a little bit nervous. Don't worry, I'm not going to make anyone suffer through that a second time. Over the last 10 years, though, I've had the privilege of attending numerous graduation ceremonies and listening to a lot of speakers. And I've come to realize that all too often, young people like yourselves are kind of told half-truths. I don't believe it's the speaker's fault. There's a lot of pressure up here. You got to inspire the graduates, entertain the audience, and do it within a certain time frame. So basically, you end up doing what any good salesperson does. You focus on the highlights and you kind of sell the dream. So when I was invited to speak at the event today, I really looked at it as an opportunity to kind of share with you some of the myths that I believe are shared and kind of set the record straight. So myth number one, the person up here speaking is qualified to share with you their knowledge and experience because they've avoided the common mistakes and poor decisions that other people make. Well, I'd love to stand here and pretend that's the case, but it would not be the truth. In fact, I doubt it's the truth for most people out there. However, the more and more success one achieves, the more pressure there is to appear that you have it all together and that you always have. Here's the truth. I left here the valedictorian, went to a 4-year private college where I had a great scholarship. I spent a majority of my time there, going to classes, but also socializing and perfecting my Mario Kart skills. Until I was 20 years old, and the day before I was set to go back for my junior year, I discovered I was pregnant. I now had tough decisions to make, and one of those decisions was to return to an adult-based education program, which meant night classes. I had to work full-time and part-time. I had to take a job that paid barely over minimum wage because I needed insurance for me and my daughter. I was a single mom, trying to get by, barely making ends meet in a job that offered little opportunity for growth. Not a glowing picture of success. At this point, you're probably wondering why I'm sharing all of this with you. I could have started by telling you I'm 27 years old, I'm the executive director of a local chapter of a worldwide organization. I can tell you that I have a wonderful husband who allows me to use my talents and abilities in the community and a great family. And the truth is, if I would have shared that, I probably would have been deemed more credible. But here's why I chose to share. My experience has also taught me this. Every choice you make moves you closer to your goals or in the opposite direction. Every person you bring into your life will help you, inspire you to go towards your dreams or pull you away from where you're going. You too will choose how you impact other people's lives. Here's the fact, no one's perfect, everyone makes mistakes, and no matter the pressure for people to be perfect and have it all together, that's not true life. Don't let those moments and mistakes define you. Get back on course and move on. And always be looking for the message that lies within your mess. Myth number two, you need good leadership skills to make it out there. Everyone talks about being a leader. There are 101 seminars you can attend on leadership, the 21 characteristics of a great leader, the 20 questions every great leader should know, the list goes on and on. Here's the truth. All great leaders were first great followers and students. So spend time brushing up on your ability to follow and study the habits of successful people. You can never be an effective leader until you've spent time serving and following. I know many of you are thinking like I did when I sat on that stage. I just spent 13 years listening and following. I'm ready to go out there and change the world. And let me make this clear, I have no doubt that you will change the world. You're just not going to do it by lunchtime tomorrow. All the great leaders we know and respect today spent time following. Did you know that the Old Testament talks about Joshua, who followed Moses for more than 40 years before he led the children of Israel into the Promised Land? Martin Luther King Jr. studied the works of Gandhi and Thoreau before he ever modeled their peaceful protests to create social change in the civil rights movement. Finally, Aaron Rodgers spent 3 years playing second string and watching and learning from Brett Favre before getting the opportunity to become the starter and eventually becoming MVP. Okay, just a little time out. I know we're in Illinois, and so I did look long and hard for a reference for a Chicago Bears quarterback as a leader. It's just not out there, so I My point is this, leadership skills are important. However, to truly succeed in today's world, you have to be coachable. You have to be willing to take direction. You have to consistently be willing to improve upon your God-given skills and ability. And remember this, even the greatest leaders in history were first followers and never stopped learning from those around them. Myth number 3, and my final myth, numbers don't lie. You can see all the math people out there starting to twitch, them into the 13 years of education that they just instilled in these fine graduates. And I love data and numbers as much as the next person. And I can overwhelm you with the statistics. I can tell you about the small percentage of rural high school students that are successful at the collegiate level. I can tell you about the hundreds of thousands of people who have more experience and more education that are out there looking for work right now. And we can spend time talking about that. But here's what I believe, and here's the full truth. There are two types of people in the world. People of fate and people of destiny. What's the difference? People of fate believe that life happens to them. They believe that they can never improve their situation or change their circumstances. People of destiny make their own opportunities. They don't sit and wait for the economy to improve or their dream job to land in their lap. People of destiny get out and use the skills and abilities that God gave them, and they make things happen. I'd like to tell you about a man I know. He was a hardworking man. He worked at CSI, not crime scene investigators. It's not that good of a story. It was a truck shop in Illinois. And he was very young. He was promoted to a lead man of a crew there. He loved his job. He worked with his friends, and there was an opportunity for growth. However, the economy struggled and the plant closed. After a while of being laid off, he found work at a local excavating company. Now this was a dream job. You know, for all you guys that drove little bulldozers when you were young, you could drive a real thing, tear out some things. Working good. He was a low man on the totem pole. He did a lot of the grunt work, but it was a good job and he was happy. However, they lost a big job and the economy was slow, so there was no knowing if the man would get called back to work after being laid off again. It was an extremely difficult time. To make matters even more tough, the man's wife was pregnant, not sure what to do. The man's family knew the owners of a local cheese factory, and he was offered an opportunity to work for a little over minimum wage. Truth be told, he would be making more on unemployment than he would be going to work 40 plus hours a week. So you look at the numbers, just the numbers, it doesn't make sense. But this man knew something. He knew he had skills, and given the opportunity to show his strong work ethic and abilities, he may be allowed to create an opportunity and benefit the company. So he went to work, 40 plus hours of hard manual labor each week, once again making less than he would have been sitting on the couch. So what happened to that man? After a few short months, the man received a raise. Soon after that, another raise. Soon he was challenged with learning additional jobs around the factory, and before he knew it, they were creating a job that never existed before because of the man's ability to repair machines, streamline processes, and save money by finding creative and cost-effective solutions. The factory is now expanding. In 3 years from when he started, he actually runs the factory when the owners are away. You might wonder how I know this story so well. Well, it's because this man in the story is my husband. He chose at that tough moment to become a person of destiny and make the best out of a tough situation. And I have no doubt that within each of you, you can do the same. So at the beginning of the speech, I told you this. I told you that oftentimes speakers try and sell the audience a dream. You guys might know what happens when someone sells you something that you're really interested in. Buyer's remorse. No one wants to look back on their life with buyer's remorse. So this is my advice to you. Create your own dreams. But realize that every decision you make either moves you closer to those dreams or further away. Always look for the message in the message that you create. Learn and grow by following good people. And my final prayer for you is this, that you make a commitment to be a person of destiny that uses their gifts and talents to create opportunities for themselves and for others. Congratulations.